Hey there, how's it going? So, I think I figured out this random overheating issue with this 1992 300E W124 with the M103 engine. And what was happening, I don't know how many parts I got on there, 7 or 8 parts of replacing all the coolant parts in this engine. I replaced the radiator, the fan clutch, the expansion tank, cap, radiator cap. I replaced the water pump. I replaced the coolant. What else did I do? I checked the function of the auxiliary fans. They work okay. I checked the relays that tell or turn the fans on and off. I checked the climate control unit and replaced it with another unit. I replaced the sensor that controls the coolant temperature sensor for the auxiliary fans and climate control unit. There's a coolant sensor here that goes to the push button unit in the dash, and it sends a signals to the relay in the fuse box, and that signal turns on the power, and it travels along to a ballast resistor by the headlight here, and that allows power to go to the auxiliary fans to turn on and off, depending on engine temperature. All right, so now this thing, the needle was, it had gone to a red mark last summer. I think it was September. And that's when I performed I couldn't find anything really wrong with it other than a little bit of coolant missing out of the reservoir, the expansion tank. And it had got so hot, the coolant got so hot that it went up the expansion tank and went into an overflow reservoir, which is located behind the front wheel on the passenger side, behind the inner fender cover. You take that off and there's a whole nother tank there. And when that happens, it overflows, it goes into that overflow tank, and as it cools down, the coolant gets sucked back into the expansion tank. So anyway, that whole system is working good. Now I'm not a professional mechanic or anything. I'm just a DIY guy with a couple old Mercedes. I've had two of these W124s, 300 SE. I have an R129, a 1991 500 SL behind me. This is my son's car, and I help him along. Plus, I like tinkering and stuff and figuring things out. So after doing a lot of research online, I found out that these early 90s cars, maybe 90, 95, seem to have this issue. Maybe some of the earlier ones, maybe the late 80s. They have, first, I thought it was the two auxiliary fans in the front that were not coming on right and everything, but they are. So what it is basically is this engine compartment gets really, really hot, say when you're outside temperature, talking Fahrenheit. I'm here in Temecula where it can be in the hundreds during the summer every day for a couple months. And that's when the problems happen with this car. During the wintertime, there is no problem. No problem at all. What happens is when you're idling in stop and go traffic, or like you're at a drive-through for a long time, and it's really hot outside, that's when the problem surfaces. And what the problem is these cars were designed, for my research, they were just made in Germany. They shipped them to, started shipping them around the world. And in California, I'm in California, Southern California, it gets hot here. It doesn't get that hot in Germany, you know. It doesn't get as hot as it does down here in Southern California. I'm close to Palm Springs, and it gets pretty hot there. So there's a clutch fan here, where this fan is, right? See this? See that thing turning? This is the main cooling fan for the engine when it senses that it's overheating. These auxiliary fans, when they kick on, they do help, but not that much, because you've got auxiliary fans in the front. You have an air conditioning condenser behind the auxiliary fans, and then you have the radiator, and then you have the main cooling fan. Auxiliary fans help a little bit, but they've got to push air through a condenser. It's like looks like a little radiator, right? And that condenser is taking all the heat from inside the cabin when your air conditioning is on, and via the freon, and it goes through here and it releases the heat, and that heats up, right? And those auxiliary fans are mainly there to cool that condenser down and to help with the radiator a little bit. Okay, it does help a little bit, but not as much as this main fan. The engine compartment is sealed pretty tight. There's not a lot of airflow in here. There's a plastic belly pan here, and the only airflow that it really gets is either when the car is moving, but when it's sitting still, that hot air just sits there and cooks. The engine is just generating heat like crazy. Now, after looking at, there's another guy online, I have a link somewhere on one of my videos. He did a couple different mods. He did the 1,000 or 1,100 ohm resistor at the coolant temperature sensor here, the blue 2-pin. I did that, 1,000 ohm resistor there. And that's supposed to trick the system thinking that the car is overheating, and it triggers the auxiliary fans on. All right, so I did that. It helps, but not a whole lot, not a whole lot. You want it to cool down when this thing is sitting there idling in stop and go traffic in the heat of summer, and you see your temperature gauge going above the 100 mark and going, close to the red line. The manual says it's normal for it to go to the red line. Don't leave it there. You'll destroy your engine, shut your car off. But it does that regularly here in Southern California. A lot of people, there's literally thousands of posts of people with these type of cars that have this issue. I mean, it can be a 560 SL, 500E. I mean, all these different models of early 90s, late 80s cars. And this this fan, it has a fan clutch in it. Now this is a fan clutch right here. This is the old one. I had replaced the other one, but this one's probably still good. And the way these things operate, if you look online, is these things are filled with silicone oil. All right. Now it's kind of hard to see, but can you see right here, the little round part underneath this? This is a bimetallic spring. And what this bimetallic spring does is it's starting out flat like this. There's this round thing that has a pin in it. I'll take this thing off in a second. And as this thing reacts, there's no sensors telling this thing locks the fan. Usually the fan is freewheeling all the time. All the time it's freewheeling. when the radiator gets really hot and the hot air, it's not the coolant temperature, it's the hot air in the engine compartment. This thing is close to the radiator, is like that far away from it. When it senses that radiator air, or the air is getting really hot, it starts to bend. This thing starts to bend, and it starts out flat, and then it starts going like this, right? It starts out flat, then it starts going like this. It bends, and when it bends, it releases this little pin that's under here. This little pin. Here, let me open it up. Okay, all you do is just push down and slide it, and this thing will come off like that. This is the bimetallic metal that that bends, right? And when it bends up, it releases this little pin that's in here. Let's pull it out. There's the pin, right? And then there's a little circlip, just pulls right off. And there's a rubber protector. And down in here is a kind of, I think it's like a ball bearing spring loaded. And this thing pushes, watch. Hold on, let's see if I can get it. It pushes in and out. Hard to, I'll probably shoot myself with it, but see how it goes up and down. And what that does, when it's down, it's locking off, or it's closing off a channel. I guess there's some kind of a galley in here with different passageways for the silicone oil that's filled in here. It releases it so it moves around inside, and as the thing spins, when this is released, it'll lock the fan, and it'll lock it's like a clutch, and it'll make the main fan, it'll lock that so it's spinning and cooling off that radiator like that, right? Works really fast once it locks up for cooling. And this thing, you can, this is the old one. You can probably test yours, but usually they've got the silicone oil in here, and you can refill them. Some of that oil will leak out, and I clean this. You can see some of the black stuff that's in here. See that? I cleaned this thing real good in the sink with a toothbrush and everything because it was pretty dirty. But you can refill this with the silicone oil and use it, and you don't have to buy a new one. Now the silicone oil that you get, of all things, is a Toyota. Toyota had some model, I forget what model it was, but at the factory they forgot to put silicone oil in there because they used the system. BMWs also use this type of system too, and Toyota also. Certain models, probably older ones, right? And this is a bare fan clutch. And you can refill these. It takes a really long time, up to 3 hours to refill one of these, because you buy this this oil. I guess all the dealers should have this in stock. It's like, I don't know, $10, $18. And so because they forgot to put the oil in some of their fan clutches at the factory, so okay, so the dealers carry it, and that's where you get it at. And then you can refill this. This does not come apart, although it did have RTV all the way around it right here. If I reuse this, I'm going to put RTV back around here because it's probably a place where it can leak. Yeah, you can see it. It peels right off. This isn't grease. This is RTV, black RTV. You can refill it then use it again, okay? Put this back in. Now there's that, I think, is it Pierre Headley? Fix Your Mercedes, or one of those YouTube channels. He's the guru of old Mercedes. You've probably seen him online, YouTube. Big guy, rotund guy with beard. And he shows you how to do it and explains basically what I'm explaining, but there's things that have been left out. I'll put that in later. So I'm going to test this thing in the oven. I'm going to put it back together. It starts out straight, and it's supposed to open up at a certain temperature. It'll start to bend, and I want to see if this thing is bending. If it's bending, it's good. That means that this piece is good, right? But I don't know if this thing has lost oil or not. But after, who knows, maybe 30 years. Some of the oil has escaped, and it will. So, what I was thinking of doing, let's see. Let's look at that fan spin. A lot of time it freewheels, and the reason that it freewheels, Mercedes designed it so that it doesn't stress the engine out and lower your miles per gallon. That fan only locks up when the thing is overheating. You know, that's when it locks up. So when you're driving on the highway, it's just freewheeling. It's not locked up. It doesn't need it because it's got all the airflow coming through the front. Now they do, the guy, what's the name? The guy, what is it, SoCal 210? He's got that red, I think it's a E320, 320E, something like that, cabriolet. He did the mod where he did the thermostat. I had to replace my thermostat also. He replaced his thermostat with one that opens up sooner. It's something like 78 or 79 450 SL. I might get that just so that it's wide open, you know, most of the time. It opens up sooner. He did the trick for the resistor, and then he put a fan clutch from I believe it's a C36 AMG. Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah. So he put in, he put a different thermostat, put a C36 fan clutch. This is the Mercedes part number, but then this is the manufacturer part number, and this is the golden number right here. Okay, 1,000 ohm resistor, quarter watt. I did that. Yeah, there's part number, and the manufacturer code on the box should say that. But this is a tropical fan clutch that will fit the M104, M103 engines. And what it does is it locks that fan at a lower temperature before it's like totally crazy overheating into the red and stuff. It locks that fan, I believe it's 90 Celsius. From what I've read, that fan locks up between 110 to 115 Celsius. And there's a lot of people that have you know, done experiments, and they go, yeah, it's, you know, they've tested it and go, it locks up at 110, 115, which is way hot. Okay, so this is Amazon, but it's in the German Amazon in Germany. Here is that tropical full force fan clutch by Sachs, right? 108. It's about, I don't know, maybe $115 US, right? Oh yeah, really. And you can see that number on there? That's what you want to do. And this is the only fan clutch out of all those manufacturers that is a tropical version for hot climates. Now, I called the dealer and I said, do you have this part number? He said, there's only one. This is a Mercedes-Benz of Temecula, Fletcher Jones, right? They're all over the place. Guy goes, there's only one in the United States. It's in Connecticut, and it's like $400. I said, crap, I'm not going to spend that much. I mean, okay, I can find it overseas. So I contacted these people, and it's all German, so I had to do Google Translate and everything. They do not ship to the United States. None of these guys that sell these parts overseas was shipped to the United States. At least I haven't been able to find one. If you can find one, let me know. And I asked them why. And they said because of COVID-19. It's now 2022, I mean, I don't know. And also their VAT, which is some kind of crazies. I don't really understand what VAT is. It's something about the sales tax, and it can like go crazy on you. It can add to the cost of this. A delivery was like 34 euros. This is 108 euro. So I can't get it. I mean, and this is Amazon. Pretty reliable source. So I went to eBay. I found this on eBay, out of stock. Nobody's got it. The guy I was telling you about with the red E320. I asked him. He said, "I got mine on eBay. I lucked out and got mine on eBay." Well, they don't have them on eBay anymore unless you come across it. You just happen to find one. The German eBay, they have it, but it does not ship to the U.S. Amazon does not ship to the U.S. There's only one in the country, and it fits a C36 AMG engine, you think? But see, I guess most of these cars just don't have this overheating problem, but a lot of them do. And if you're searching and you're going, why is my 300E, why is my M104 engine, why is my M119 engine, why is it when I'm idling during the summer with the air conditioning on, the temperature goes into the red and just, I don't like having that temperature get to that red. The manual says it's okay, but you know what? I've replaced a head gasket in that car twice because of this kind of crap. Here he is. He's SoCal 210. He's got a beautiful car, right? But so he did the what is that? The thermostat, and there's the fan clutch, right? There's the resistor. And he's got the M104 engine. Thanks, by the way, thanks, dude, for turning me on to this thing. And then he goes up and down hills and stuff. The only thing I see with his video that I don't really like is it says 75 Fahrenheit when he's doing the test. I think the highest it goes. See, it's at 66, 70. See now, beautiful car, isn't it? Good job on that one, dude. The temperature on that readout, on that digital readout, at least on mine, okay. Well, mine runs cool. What is that temperature? There's no overheating or anything, outdoor temperature. But during the summer, when that thing hits 90 degrees, when it says 90 degrees on that thing, or 95 degrees, that's when that engine will start having issues. Stop and go traffic, drive through, prolonged idling, air conditioning on. That's when it has problems. And that's when I need that tropical fan clutch. Now, I did read some articles. See, this is the ultimate cooling up. I did read some things. I don't know if they're sketchy or not. But since this thing is locked in here, and it has to basically bend and release that pin, which allows the silicone to flow and lock up the fan and cool your engine off. People have taken these things and have bent them, you know, they've bent them out a little bit, and that releases that pin a little sooner. As this thing heats up and bends, it releases that pin a little bit sooner, which means it'll lock the fan up a little bit sooner. And that's about the only alternative I can have right now without spending a bunch of money. It's going to be trial and error. I guess I could, people say that you can take this and put it in the oven at 200 degrees and see if that thing's starting to bend, this thing. And it'll tell you if it's okay, and then you can bend it so that you can see that pin being released. You know what I mean? A little early. And that'll lock the fan up a little bit earlier. It's like a mod. So I think that's what I'm going to try for now. Since I cannot, I have the money to buy the fan clutch, but I'm not going to pay $400 for one of these things. And the subtropical ones, when I talked to the dealer, he goes, it's called a full force fan clutch. And they use them a lot in the Philippines, where it gets ungodly hot, and in the Congo, in the jungle, you know, because the cars are going kind of slow there and stuff, and they need that fan on all the time. And you don't want that fan locked up all the time, because it will wear other components out, like, you know, because when it's locked up, it's pulling that serpentine belt, you know, really hard, all that stuff, and wears things out quicker. You get poor gas mileage because it's taking horsepower away from the engine or something. Let's see if I'm remembering it right now. The tropical or full force fan activates at a lower temperature. It senses at a lower temperature, it'll be like around 90 Celsius. And then the normal ones like this are between, it varies between 105 all the way to 115, I've read. And like I said, some of those guys tested theirs, and theirs were like locking up. This thing was bending and letting the fluid through, locking up the fan like 110, 115, which is like crazy hot. So anyways, for now, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this over on the bench, and then with a blow dryer, I'm gonna start heating this up and see if it bends and opens up that little pin. That spring-loaded pin should go up, and that will tell me that this part of the mechanism is working okay. The thing might still need silicone. And then I'm going to slightly put a bend in this and test it again and see if I can get it to open up that pin at a lower temperature. Make any sense? No. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, now we're not the only ones suffering from this problem. You'll read all kinds of posts about these darn things on Beamer forums, several other forums too. I think there might be some on Toyota, older Toyotas. You know, it's just the system that they used. I imagine, you know, now if everything in your car is perfect, like say it's a brand new car, brand new 300E, yeah, it's all gonna work together perfectly. But 30 years later, if there's one little thing that's off in the cooling system, it'll affect the overheating. You know, for mine, when we bought the car 10 years ago, a little older, over that, bought it off eBay. My son and wife got it when I was at work and I came home, and then guess what? We got a 300E. Okay, and it came with a blown head gasket. It had oil mixed into the coolant. All right. So it was in the expansion tank. It was in the radiator. It looks like monkey poo. It's brown, and it traveled through the heater core, through the engine block. Now I've cleaned it all out, but there's still, I'm sure, in the engine block, I'm sure there's little remnants of it stuck to the walls, and that reduces the capacity of the cooling system, the coolant flowing through there. So I might have to do an acid flush. But first, I want to get this fan to lock up. I just want it to lock up at idle when it's like 95, 100 degrees outside. I want it to lock up. Now, some people they're sick and tired of messing with this thing. And they just go out and they get rid of this, and they put an electric fan in its place up against the radiator. So you got the auxiliary fans in the front, an electric fan in the, you know, on the inside pointing there, and that wouldn't be a bad deal. I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah, with those getting rid of this, an electric fan, the only thing that they're having a hard time with is, I think there's like 3.5 inches between this, or between the front of the engine and the radiator, and finding a fan with a shroud to fit in that space. It's I guess it's hard to find. Some people have found it. I need to research that more, and imagine that fan could run off of a coolant sensor, you know, and it would come on, or you can have a switch for it, but a pain in the butt. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I got a heat gun and I got my thermometer, and we're gonna keep an eye on this. This is that bimetal strip, and you should see it go like this. Let's give it a shot. Okay, in the video, I fast forwarded, can't speak, and you saw that it did bend up, and when it bends up, it releases that pin and allows the fluid to circulate. The pin is over on this side right here. That thing went up pretty high. So the theory is, these old timers that say, I've been doing it for 25 years to adjust those stupid things, is that they stick, I think, a big screwdriver through there, and they twist it and they bend this thing up a little bit so that when it does heat up, it'll heat up just a you know, say at 90 Celsius. Now, adjusting that for 90 Celsius would be, have to figure that out, but there's really no way of testing because that pin is spring loaded. So the pin is down there. This thing is pushing on the pin. This pin is spring loaded. So when you heat this thing up, it releases that pin. It goes up, allows the fluid to travel, the silicone to travel into the clutch so that it can do its thing of blocking the fan up. But I haven't figured out a way of how to, if I was to bend this part, how much do I bend it? You know, a lot of people say it's just trial and error. You bend it a little bit, and you see when the thing locks up. It'd be great if it was electrical. We could do continuity tests and stuff, but it isn't. Anyway, so that's the way that thing works. That's what locks up the fan and cools that engine off. So if I can find a tropical fan clutch that's already set to 90, they're set to open it at release that pin at 90, not 100 and so 90 is 194 Fahrenheit. 105 Celsius is 221. 115 is 239. I think that's the boiling point of water. Have double checked me on that, but some of these guys are saying, you know, that they tested these devices and they were releasing that pin at between 110 and 115 Celsius, which is way too hot, at least for these poor little engines. Okay, so I think that's about it for now. I'll keep searching for one of those tropical fan clutches. Anybody got a line on it? Let me know. So, boiling point of water is 212 Fahrenheit, 100 Celsius. So the way that I understand it, there's the 80 Celsius mark. There's the 100. There's the 120. Usually, the car should run between 85 and 100 or 90. So 90 is somewhere in here. And in the factory, let's see, where is it? Right there. So the coolant temperature gauge, boiling point of the coolant pressurized cooling system of your vehicle is approximately 266 F. During severe operation conditions, stop and go traffic, the coolant temperature may rise close to the red marking. The engine should not be operated with coolant temperature in the red zone. Doing so may cause blah, blah, blah. So severe operating conditions, stop and go traffic. So it says it right there. It's an inefficient system. Pressurized cooling system of your vehicle is approximately 266 Fahrenheit or 130 Celsius. That's about where you want these cars to run. This is perfect right here. This is normal. From here to here is normal. Once it gets above this mark is when it starts, it's really hot. So that paragraph, it said 130. So if this is 120, that red is 130. And that's the danger zone. That's bye-bye head gasket, warped head right there. So don't let it ever get that high. Now there's also a school of thought that the engine operates at its peak performance when it's really warm, warm. It's when you're getting the most power and everything. So you don't want it to run too cool, because then it's going to run like crap. Like if it ran, I've read where some people, I could barely get mine to the 80 mark, and their cars don't really run really good. So you want to get it right about here. Okay? So in closing, I might mess with this bimetallic strip a little bit with the screwdriver. Research how to do it. Just bend it up a little bit. If I can find one of these, yeah. But I'm not gonna pay $400 like I said before. So I'll keep searching for one of these in the United States. I'm sure there's some sitting someplace. But they don't have a lot of these in the United States because it's, it's not a tropical climate. Maybe in Florida. I should look at parts stores in Florida because it gets pretty tropical there. They might have those. That's a good idea, John. Okay, I'll keep searching for it. I'll keep messing with this. But you see, this bimetallic strip looks a little different than mine. It's a little bit different. Okay, I'll keep working, and I'll update this video when I have the time.